Today I pledged £3 in support of the Labour Party to partake in the leadership election, which includes Jeremy Corbyn. Now, that's a massive kind of change in direction for me personally. I'm 38-year-old, nearly 39, never voted, even though I was brought up in a trade union family. My grandmother was a convener at a big factory in Haywood, and my mother also was a trade unionist. So I've been brought up with strong sort of Labour socialist values, but obviously I was when I was about 19, 20 was when Blair got conned by him because he's an absolute snake oil salesman. So kind of disengaged from politics because the Labour for me completely sold out. Obviously the Tories are absolute scumbags. Lib Dems are neither here nor there. So I've disengaged politically and sort of like got more involved in civil disobedience really, which is inspired by David Henry Thoreau and also Mahatma Gandhi. So actively disengaging in laws which are unjust, and doing my utmost to sort of like go against the establishment. But I've realised that that's quite limited. Most people aren't ready to grasp any ideas of civil disobedience or anarchy, which just means without or the least government as possible. And we're faced with an establishment which is just horribly corrupt. So, and really nobody's really captured my imagination politically for a long time. But this man, Jeremy Corbyn, who's come along, has captured my imagination and is much needed. I mean, when a politician starts talking about Israel being, a corrupt regime, he's pro-Palestine, he's anti-Trident, which is anti-nuclear, anti-war, anti-austerity, pro the most vulnerable, and he's very good. The way he speaks, the passion comes through. I trust him. He's been voted 8 times in Islington, so he's a man to be taken seriously. So obviously he's being decried as he will be the end of the Labour Party, and Tories are now saying, yeah, vote for him, because will just fall into the Tory hands. The only way that Labour now can rescue itself is if it goes back to its origins, which is, like real socialist left, which will stick up for, the needs of the ordinary person. So Tony Blair's come out and he said, "Oh, don't vote him. Don't vote for him. It'll be the end." Whenever he comes along and says, "Don't do it," because he's a wrong 'un. He is pure evil personified. So there's a great signal that this man is a threat to the establishment because he's so interwoven with the Vatican and with war and death, and charging £350,000 to do a speech at a starvation conference. The man is just absolutely disgusting. His predecessor Brown, again another man who gave me the creeps, who may well or may well not be involved with scandals to do with children and cults and what have you, but we won't go into that. But generally, I will be taking part in the Labour Party. I will be voting for Corbyn. Whether he's successful or not, I'm just going to give it a crack. I like what he's saying. And it changes the dynamic completely. I'm going to obviously get some events organised in North Manchester to support him, and I believe we can do a cracking job in making the Tory party feel very uncomfortable when they come up on October the 4th to Manchester. So we're going to get creative and come up with a few campaigns to make a real fuss, have a laugh while we're doing it. But ultimately, this change in direction is motivated by just a real need for just some basic justice. Some progressive politics based on hope and just, the way forward. Like away from war, away from greed, away from corruption, towards towards compassion, towards the working people, and towards sense, basically. So yeah, watch this space.